Dear and revered children of the sweet mother, in this third session, the discussion was exhaustive and crystal clear. Let me tell you something about the definition of faith based on the writings of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo. Faith is a belief, but not a mental belief. It is a soul's belief in the divine existence, wisdom, power, love, and grace. Love is its main ingredient. That is the reason why in Sanskrit the name of the faith is called as Shraddha. This faith in our psychic center opens to the direct touch of the divine and helps to bring union and surrender. When this faith spreads into the mind, the ordinary mental faith at the thought level becomes true mental faith. The true mental faith combats doubt and helps to open to the true knowledge. When this faith spreads into the vital, the ordinary vital faith at the desire level becomes true vital faith. True vital faith prevents the attack of the vital forces or defeats them and helps to open to the true spiritual will and action. When this faith spreads into the physical, the ordinary physical faith at the sensual level becomes true physical faith. True physical faith keeps one firm through all physical obscurity, inertia or suffering and helps to open to the foundation of the true consciousness. Since you all have discussed about the faith in detail so nicely, I don't feel to repeat the same. However, I will share my experiences with the students to you. Few years back, I had an interaction with the senior students of Sri Aurobindo Integral Education Center. My topic was on faith. I inspired the students to study the topic by themselves at their home and asked them to present their understandings about the topic in front of everybody on the next day. They said, okay, but it is very difficult to understand the depth writings of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo. So, will you allow us to study the simple quotations about the faith by other great people and present our understandings tomorrow? And we request you to enlighten our understandings in the light of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo. I said, okay. On the next day, I found children were very enthusiastic to participate in the discussion. I asked, who can say, what is faith? Student A got up and said, it is a feeling of some truth to which our eyes are unable to see, our ears are unable to hear, and so on. Very nice reply. Do all of you agree with him, dear students? I asked. Student B said, but there are some feelings which are found false thereafter. How can we decide which feeling is true and which feeling is false? Wonderful question. Can anyone answer his question? I asked. Student A tried to defend his answer by saying that believing our feeling until it is disproved is wiser than disbelieving our feeling until it is proved. Of course, there is a risk in believing a false feeling, but there will be no progress by not believing a true feeling. I was overwhelmed by his beautiful logic and said, you are right, because it is by believing our feelings, if we are sincere, the power of discrimination in us will grow. After that, there will be no feeling which would not be materialized as true. Okay, any other student wants to say something about the topic faith? Student C said, we believe the person by his past acts and behaviors. For example, if a person was red-handed caught while stealing, it will be difficult to believe him as an honest person. However, it is not possible always to verify our faith. For example, when we purchase some medicine, we cannot carry a laboratory with us. We have to believe. Otherwise, you have to return home without medicine. Because of no evidence, a blind man cannot deny the existence of light. In our case also, we have accepted many essential things without questioning. We believed our parents without any doubt. We never asked them, prove that you are my mother, prove that you are my father. In the same way, we cannot ask evidence to believe the God. I observed that all the students became speechless. I had to wait for some time to carry forward the discussion ahead. Then student D rose up and said, "My mother always inspired me to pray the God with total faith whenever I feel lonely and helpless. Accordingly, whenever I found myself in the darkness with all doors closed, I prayed the invisible God by closing my eyes. Amazingly, I found myself in brightness with all doors open. Each of my prayer brought the God's presence so concretely that my lonely and helpless feeling was instantly vanished." Student E said spontaneously, "It is not a faith when we believe the visible sun, because visible sun is a fact. There is no question of believing. True faith is to feel the sun's existence when it is behind the cloud and invisible." I congratulated him by saying, "Yes, there will be no need of faith when the God reveals himself to us. Faith is only a transitory but an inevitable requirement in our journey towards the divine till his integral manifestation. Faith is really a gift given by the divine to every one of us. Nobody can say that I have no faith. There is at least a tiny bit of faith in everybody. But it has to be nurtured by the help of prayer, aspiration, or other spiritual practices. But unfortunately, many of us cultivate doubt, which is equivalent to letting a worm into a fruit. Now let me explain the role of faith in our life. Let us suppose there are three persons named X, Y, and Z. X has a complete faith without any doubt and fear. Y is in the middle stage, and Z has a negligible faith with full of doubt and fear. If a person wants to kill these three persons, then he might be successful to kill Z, injure Y, and in case of X, his pistol will fall away from his hand without making any harm to X. Of course, there are few peculiar cases where in spite of having complete faith, nothing could be done. I will tell you a true incident from Mother's agenda, where a person was a paralytic patient. His doctor was a spiritual man. During the treatment, the doctor found that his patient has full faith and was highly receptive. But the doctor could not cure him. The case was referred to the mother for her comment. She said, in this case, it would mean that his paralysis helps him go faster towards his goal. Very often we complain that in spite of our complete faith and receptivity, why the untoward incidents occur in our life? We must know that our faith and receptivity puts us in the best atmosphere from soul's point of view. In some cases, the so-called untoward incidents from ordinary point of view are most favorable from soul's point of view. So, that is the reason why such untoward incidents occur in our life in spite of our complete faith and receptivity. Before concluding, I will try to answer Rajkishore Bhai's question to me. The question was, what is the will of transcendent divine? Does it have any link with our faith? Sri Aurobindo says, the transcendental will for us is the supramental will. This will is behind the cosmic or universal will. In the cosmic or universal will, both favorable and adverse forces have their place and the role to play. After the spiritualization of our mental, vital and physical consciousness, the transcendental will can directly act in us. Till that, we must wait with strong faith. In the words of Sri Aurobindo, it is that transcendental will which one must wait upon and have faith in its workings. Thank you very much. Supreme Lord, eternal truth, let us obey Thee alone and live according to truth.
that meets everything and masters, and none can prevail in the end against her vast, intangible wisdom and high, tranquil power.